Happy Monday, everybody. Before we get going in today's video, we want to invite you to meet up with us at FinCon. Freddie's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Ricky's going to be there. Ricky and I are speaking at one of the sessions, talking about a little bit of make money online stuff. Even if you aren't like necessarily a financial blogger, but they just have a lot of courses on internet marketing and stuff in addition to the finance and stuff as well. So definitely check it out. FinCon, it is in Washington, D.C. We have an affiliate link if you'd like to use it. We'd appreciate that. It's incomeschool.com/FinCon. But seriously, we actually turned down a lot of invites to speak at conferences. When we got invited to this one, we're like, no, we're definitely going because I've heard really, really good things about this one. And so we're excited to see it.
It's going to be awesome. All right, let's get into it today. So we have a pretty seemingly scary statistic that we want to share with you today, but we can definitely overcome the problems that come with it.
Yeah, when we first heard this, like all of us were like,
yeah.
like, this is bad for SEO, right?
Right.
So drop it on me.
So 49% of Google searches result in no clicks. That means when you get to the SERP, when you type in a search, you either just get your answer from the snippet or you read one of the little blurbs underneath the link and you don't click on anything.
Yeah, so you can see why we were a little bit of a gut punch when you first hear this, especially when you see the trend this way. Because in 2016, there was 12% less of these no-click searches, right? So the trend is definitely increasing. And then as we talked about it more, we kind of talked about it from two different sides for our company and what we're going to do about it. Is one, what actual changes are we going to make to address this? And then two, and the one that really got us thinking is, how come we aren't seeing that?
Right.
How come, if this is such a rise on this statistic, how come the traffic to our sites that we just have left and aren't touching, how come they haven't dropped correspondingly? They haven't at all.
Yeah.
And so then we started to think, okay, well, why is this? And we're going to talk about those, but let's dive a little bit more into the numbers. But there are some tangible things that I think in 2019 you should be doing in order to not get hit by this trend. Yeah, so the first one is 41.45% of the traffic. So if I Google something, only 41.45% of those users are going to click to a non-Google site. That is organic. So not an ad. It's not going to a Google-owned site. It's going to some third-party site, you and me, right? 41.45. That surprised me. I thought the number would be more like 85%. So I was really surprised to see that. 5.9% went to a Google-owned website. So this is somebody who types in Gmail in a search bar, and so they're taken to a result page that shows Gmail, or to YouTube. They have a YouTube result there, or they do a lot with Google Flights, and they have a lot of Google-owned properties. So 5.9% is going to something Google-owned in that search result.
Yeah, but the key takeaway here is that still more people are going no-click than going organic click. I think that's the really alarming thing to look at here.
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about our three solutions then. The first one is Snippet Optimization. This is one that we have gone a little crazy on in our company. We talk about this all the time. Is like, yeah, we have a 3,000 word blog post, and it's like, yeah, but let's analyze this little 2-sentence section that we want to be the snippet, and how do we make sure Google knows that's the section we want to be a snippet, and write it in such a way that it is the perfect snippet for Google to grab. So by the snippet, I just mean that, if I ask something like, what is a central vac system, if I've never had one in a house, and it just says a central vac system is, built into the house, you plug it in, instead of a normal vacuum, right? So that's what a snippet is. It's that answer right there where Google's just giving the content from a post. So if you can optimize your blog post to show for that, you're jumping up to number 0 is what we call it in the search results before the organic results. Now, that doesn't necessarily change the 0-click searches, but it takes advantage of this trend of having much more rich content on the search result page. And so for those searches, you're going to be doing much better. And so it's fighting the trend, not necessarily the zero click.
Yeah, and the more optimized your snippet is, the more people will want to click on your post if the snippet looks promising to them.
Yeah, and if you're a Project 24 member, a member of our course where we teach internet marketing, definitely go check in the 60 steps. We have a lesson there on snippet optimization where we're sharing exactly what we're doing. It's not a super complex strategy, but it's one that like you can make enough mistakes that you could gain 2 or 4 times more snippets by making a few small changes to the way you write them. Okay, so that's one, snippet optimization. Number 2, good titles. This should have been number 1 because if they were in order of importance, I think this is huge right now. You can turn a zero-click search into a one-click search with the right titles. We're finding simple things where we're writing about the type of content that is ripe for a zero-click search. Something like, can my Rottweiler eat peanut butter, right? You can answer that easily in a sentence and give as much information as somebody wants to know. It's like yes or no, right? Or like maybe and it's iffy, right?
Yeah.
Like you can say it in 2 sentences. And so you have to be careful with how you craft your titles to be aware of that trend. Where instead of where we may have used to have titled it something like "Can Rottweilers eat peanut butter?" Maybe we title it off the cuff, something like Rottweilers can't eat peanut butter, but here are 10 other great treats around the house.
Yeah.
Right? But like we know Google's just going to show it on the page, so let's not hide the lead and make you click into it for that. Let's just say Rottweilers can't eat peanut butter, and I have no idea if they can. But Rottweilers can't eat peanut butter. We're going to show up for the snippet because of our snippet optimization, and then we have a title that kind of makes you want to click in, and so you take advantage of the trend. So I see that doing really, really well for us. We used to be much more generic in our naming. You know, it was something like how to pick a good lamp for your desk. And now we're getting a little bit clickbaity. Not clickbaity, that's not the right term. A little bit more dressing up to our titles to get people to click.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about this before, like with the buffet title principle, right? You can include your base title that includes some solid keywords, but then also include kind of something that draws people in. You know, with Rottweilers, it could be after your dog eats this, does he need to go to the vet, kind of a thing.
Like after your dog ate your child, do you need to take care of the Rottweiler now, or is it just fine?
Yeah. That's a great example, Jim.
Rottweiler joke. Okay. All right. Now, the last one is topics that won't be zero click. This one I want to kind of caution you on a little bit because I think somebody who's new to blogging and sees this statistic kind of overreacts on this.
Definitely.
And they skip writing a lot of topics that I think are fine to write about. And so don't overreact on this. But certainly, you know, years ago there were people who wrote about the weather and stuff, and good luck now. If you just have a weather site, no. Google's going to show their own result of the weather. You're going to get hammered. You know, simple flight information, good luck, you're going to get hammered. Things like that. Or where you have to be careful. You know, something as similar as, you know, can a Rottweiler eat peanut butter? I still do write that in 2019. And yes, I think there's going to be a snippet. And yes, I still think I can get people to click into it.
Yeah.
And so don't overreact to this, but keep it in your head while you're making your hit list that there are some searches that just, I don't know, they're going to get what they need in a snippet. I can't think of a compelling reason to kind of push them over, and so just don't write the next post.
Yeah, but we don't want this to be doomsday. I mean, our biggest concern in making this video was that people were going to look at it as apocalyptic to blogging. And it's really not. I mean, things change. Jim was saying how he went to an SEO conference a few years ago and wrote down a list of things.
It was 2013.
Yeah. Forever ago in SEO years, right? He wrote down this list of things that he said, oh man, this is going to shake up the industry, you know? And he looks back at it now and he just laughs.
Yeah, I found it a couple months ago in my closet. that old notebook, and I read through, and I was like, oh man, we were worried about that. Like, it's fine. And so I guess that is, for us, when we're making these videos, like, we have to actually find kind of a balance between, we want to share everything. Failures along with successes, along with opportunities and everything else in between. And we always have to make sure we're presenting it in a way that makes sense to somebody who's starting today and is brand new, who could hear it and be like, the industry's done. It's like, if you would have done that in 2013, you just missed out on a lot of years of an incredible business.
Yeah.
And so so that's kind of how we feel about this. Like, we look at the number and I don't like it either. But then when we look at our sites, we're like, but I mean, it's not hurting us. And so we're doing some things that are working, and those are the things we're doing. Thanks everybody for joining us in this video. And if you are ready to get started on your website, check out our webinar over here. Ricky has showed me how to do it. Check out our webinar where we're going to walk you totally through the process of how to get started on your website. Bye.